Welcome back to Worthington Model Railway. I'm going to attempt to fit a DCC decoder in this Small England Prince. So as I said, today I'm going to try to DCC fit this Small England Prince. I just first of all thought I'd just check to run it on DC, so I have my DC controller tied up to this little piece of track, and I just want to see it run on DC first. There it goes. Let's change direction. Yeah, it seems to be running fine. Okay, so having done that, I want to start to understand how it works. I did open it up earlier and talk about a couple of things. So there is obviously a pickup in the tender, and this drawbar here takes power from the tender to the loco. What I want to do is try to determine if I take the tender off and take the drawbar out, does the loco work? Does the loco also have pickups in it? I have a feeling that it... trying to get it on here is not easy. Okay, I have a feeling that it does, but let's see. Yep. Let me try putting it on the rolling road and see what that does. So let's do 1, 2. I don't even know if this is going to work. These wheels are very close together. Okay, I'm going to move the camera so you can see what I'm trying to do here. Okay, here we are moving. We're moving in both directions, so that helps me a little here because I can move forward with just the locomotive. I can put the tender to one side. So I discovered, let's move this to one side for a minute. So I discovered that the way that you get the body off the loco is basically it just pulls right off. It seemed a little strange, but that's what I discovered. It's, sort of clips, oops, didn't know that came off. It sort of clips in. There we go. Interesting that the cab came off too. Not that's going to help me much. So here is the loco body, and you'll see that there are these two pickups here. Appear to be one either side. I think that those pickups pick up off a split body. So now I'm going to test that. Pickup does not want to stay in there, does it? Yep. Looks like that's what's going on. If I get that pickup against the body, you'll see it's working. So that tells me this is going to be okay to DCC fit, because I can go one either side. Now, see there are two wires here that tie in to these two pickups. So I'm thinking if I desolder here and I desolder here, if you can see that, then I can wire in the DCC decoder. Next thing I have to determine, will the DCC decoder I have fit? I'm a little concerned that it might not. So let's look at that. I did look online. There may be a couple of slightly smaller ones I can order. So let's look at the decoder I'm trying to fit in here. And this is a Z scale decoder from Digitrax. It is a DZ123. And as you can see, it's pretty small. Let's take a penny. So obviously an American penny, but putting it next to the penny, you can see it's pretty small. But I have a feeling it's not small enough. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to put it into the body and test fit the body and see if it'll work. Based upon what I'm seeing, I'm concerned that there's not going to be enough room. Even thinking about it, looking at some of the smaller decoders that are out there, I don't even know if that's going to work either. So, but well, let's try, see what it does. Oops, wrong way, wrong way. Needs to go in that way. You know what? I think. It's not going to fit. This is not going to clip back into well, of course it would help if I had it. No, this is the right way. But this is not going to clip back in with that decoder in there. Just, well, I suppose that finishes me for today. I'll have to see if I can find an even smaller decoder. Maybe play with this a little bit and see what I can do. So I'm getting my calipers out here to try to measure how big a decoder I can put in, and it looks like if I can find something that's basically half an inch long, 0.49, and 0.32 of an inch wide, might be able to get it to sit right in there. So I'm going to go look and see what I can find online. So here we are a few days later, and after a couple of different attempts, I get these Digitrax DZ126T ZN locomotive decoders. So I think they're going to fit. Let's open this up and have a look. So hopefully, as you can see, it is considerably smaller than the last one I tried. It's not actually that much shorter, but it's definitely thinner, skinnier, etc. So I think it's going to fit. Let's see. Okay, here's the locomotive body. It basically has to fit in here and give me, only come up to here, so I've got room to get that to go in. And looking at this, I'm thinking that, yep, that is going to fit in there. So these are the 4 wires that I need. These 3 wires I don't need. I'm going to trim these off a little so that I don't have as much wire to deal with, and we'll cut these a little shorter too, and we'll attach them and see where we go from there. So I will be back in a second once I get myself sort of sorted out here, and we'll start to work on this. Okay, so I'm going to start off by trimming wires. I don't want to trim these too short because at some point I might want to use them. I don't think I will in this particular case, but so I'm going to cut them off at about here. Okay. And then I'm going to fold them up, and I'm going to put a little bit of tape around there. These wires I'm going to cut at about here, and these are all going to need the ends removing and some tinning. So the ends removing and some tinning on them. So I'm going to do that in a second. So let me get on and do that, and I'll come back once I get this ready to go. So I got my helping hands soldering helper here, and I'm going to tin the ends of these wires. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unsolder these, I don't know what you want to call them, but they're these copper plates. Okay, so this now should be fairly easy. I need to solder those copper plates back onto two wires, and then cut two wires back onto these two. Now when we look at these four wires, it's actually fairly simple as to what I need to do with them. So the black one goes to the left rail, the red one goes to the right rail, the orange goes to the right motor, and the grey goes to the left motor. So so I need to put one of these onto each of the red and the black. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So red and black are done. I need to put those onto the motor. So hang on a second, let me move things. First thing I want to do is to put a little bit of this, just a piece of, sorry, first thing I do is put a little piece of this heat shrink on there. Piece on the orange. This time, try to make sure I don't get the soldering iron on the heat shrink until I get it over the joint. There we go. Joints in place. Shrink over it. I've got all the components together. Just need to stick it back together. Okay, so I got all the wires in. Get this back together. Let's see if it worked. Okay, so I got the decoder programmed, and here we can go forward a little. There we go. Okay, and we can go back, forward, back. Okay, let's program CVs 3 and 4 so we get a little bit of a slowdown. So I programmed CVs 3 and 4, so hopefully now we'll see that. Oops. Good. Let's put it back together and see if it works. Great. So one down, one to go. I get on and do this one now. Prince and Princess, both DCC fitted and ready to go. So get these on the layout and we'll see how they run. So just looking at these, I did notice that they are different. Prince and Princess are not identical. If we look at Prince here, you can see it has significantly more hand railing on the front there than Princess does. So there is actually a very minor difference between the two locomotives. Interesting. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed Prince and Princess, and you worked through with me on the DCC fitting, which was one of the more complex ones to do in terms of the size, even though the actual fitting was not that difficult. And great to see them running in a consist there at the end, I think. Please subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe button to the top right, another video to the top left.